All right, so I just got back from watching My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3, one of the movies with the longest titles I've seen in a while. I don't know why there are movies with longer titles than this, but this one just seems longer. Anyway, long story short, this movie is really, really bad. And I'm not saying this because I don't like the genre. All right, the chick flick genre, like all genres, is fine. It's got its good movies and it's got its bad movies, okay? Unfortunately, this is one of the bad ones. There's just far too much going on in this movie, too many storylines, and the movie doesn't focus on any of them long as it should. So everything just feels random and disconnected, and there will be plot lines that are dropped at the beginning of the movie and they're picked up at the end, and I completely forgot that that was a thing that was happening. It's kind of hard to explain this movie without really going into spoilers as to why it's bad, but just take my word for it that there's too many plot lines. If the movie just focused on maybe two of them and just tried to develop the characters through those two plot lines instead of just giving every character something going on and instead having them serve the story through the two plot lines instead of like seven, then the movie could have been a lot better, I think. But instead, we get just a movie that seems like it's a bunch of random scenes kind of thrown together. It honestly feels like the cast and crew wanted to go on vacation to Greece, and their excuse to go to Greece was to make a third My Big Fat Greek Wedding movie there. I know that might be disrespectful to the people that did work hard on this movie, but that's just what it feels like. Personally, I knew this was going to be a bad movie where in the very beginning, once they get to Greece, they stop at the beach and a character runs into the water without taking any of their clothes off, doesn't even take their shoes off, just runs into the ocean. Something that this character would not do. This is an uptight character who has not let loose. Just runs off, and then everybody else follows his character, even the older characters, people who are in their 70s, just run into the ocean with their shoes on. And it's like, what? No normal person would do this. Once that happened, I knew we were in for a rough time. This movie just doesn't understand how to balance plot lines. It doesn't understand character development. It doesn't even understand comedy. People are not miserable or awkward enough for anything to be funny in this movie. One of the unfortunate things about comedy is for something to be funny, somebody has to be suffering somehow. Whether it's physical comedy or situational comedy, somebody has to be having a bad time for something to be funny. There's probably some exceptions to that rule, but most of the time that's the case. And the characters are far too happy in this movie all the time for anything to ever be funny. So it's not a funny movie, it's not an exciting movie, it's hard to keep track of what's going on, it's just frankly really boring. So normally I would end the video by saying go check it out and see for yourself, but honestly, this movie's not worth it. If you want to see beautiful shots of Greece and listen to good soundtrack, two things that this movie does have, listen to Greek music and go look up pictures of Greece online. Maybe watch a Greek tourist video on YouTube or find some YouTube vlogger that has vlogged touring Greece. Both of those things would be a much better time spent than watching this movie. So, yeah, that's about it for me. Sorry about this one. Hopefully next week's movie will be better.